Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. You've been training biceps wrong this whole time and doing your curls wrong. No, wait, it's me too. It's all of us. We've had one video about this topic before, but it's such a big deal, I had to double down. Also, Scott the video guy will yell at me if I don't make videos consistently and in a mean way, not in a friendly way. So here we go. It's true to say that most changes in the best practices of what works in the gym to build muscle are incremental. So like we knew in the 1960s that lifters had to eat more protein. We didn't know exactly how much. 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, now 2020s, we know a little bit more each time. So now we're really figuring out how much protein various groups of people need depending on their conditions. Incremental exposure to a closer version of the truth, to reality, which is awesome. A bit more rarely, we take big leaps in understanding where we're kind of wrong, and then boom, we're considerably closer to the truth. And then we realize that many of us, maybe most of us, have been doing things, dare I say, like not ideally for a long time. And in fact, until a big change like this spreads out of the evidence-based community and to most other people who would want to try it, a lot of people are still training their biceps really wrong and kind of doing curls wrong. Not wrong, capital R, lowercase r. Could be done better. Here's the thing. I'm not some wise wizard on top of a mountain. If I was on top of a mountain and I had, Scott, one of those wizard robes, I'd be flashing all you dumb motherfuckers trying to come up to see my shit. Ha, it's your boy. You're like, man, I climbed that mountain. This guy's got his cock out. This is weird. But so I don't know it all or whatever. I stumbled into this just recently as I want to share it with you guys. So I've been training my biceps, not so ideally, for like 23 years or something. Huge deal. What is wrong with the bicep curl? Why have we been doing it quote unquote wrong this whole time? There are two big problems with plenty of subcomponents with the way we do standard curls most of the time. Most standard curls are usually done with a vertical torso in relation to the line of pull, which is usually also gravity. Like in a barbell or dumbbell curl, standing up, your torso is vertical, gravity points down, and this happens in standing curls and seated curls all the same. Cable curls are no exception because most people do cable curls just a little bit offset from the cable, so it's mostly vertical force application, almost the same as with any other curl that you do with barbells or dumbbells. This creates a few lacking perspectives and insufficiencies. Not problems, but missed opportunities. During vertical force application to the bicep curl exercise of any kind, there's not really any tension at the very bottom of the movement, and so the longer muscle lengths that are the most growth promoting just don't get a lot of tension. There is maximum tension generated in the midpoint or top of the contraction, and that means you're losing a ton of energy in like the least muscle growth promoting part of the movement. That means you sap total energy from the most growth promoting part, which is that lower part, and dump it into the least growth promoting part. This kind of like going to some restaurant that has amazing food you want to try. You fill up so much on like the bread that comes beforehand that you barely eat the food. You're like, I don't know, man, I'm stuffed. This isn't even that good. Like you kind of played it backwards. Another one is that biceps are not in the stretch position almost at all. So biceps typically stretch if you push them substantially behind your body's center line because they attach at the shoulder. And so biceps aren't getting stretched. We know stretch stimulus is good for growth, possibly independently of long muscle lengths, definitely together. So that's not ideal. And you would say, okay, but even in the incline curl, you're still like, okay, your torso's not vertical, so but incline curls good. Incline curls are good, they're better. The problem is like, yeah, you do get a stretch because you're behind your body, but at that stretch, think about it, the dumbbell is all the way in its bottom position, your arm is relatively vertical with respect to gravity. And so, yeah, you're generating a stretch, but there's not a lot of tension there. Most of the tension kicks in on the way up. So you're kind of trading off tension for stretch, not ideal. And the other really low-key critique of the traditional curl setup is that with that vertical position of the torso and all of the force being transduced through your shoulders, it stacks axial loading into your spine, which tires you out for bent rows and deadlifts and squats and really just kind of beats you up more so. So if you really want to get a ton of curls, have a big stimulus to the biceps, but a lower fatigue, ideally you want to minimize the axial fatigue. So what does science say is significantly better than setting up your curls in the traditional way? First, maximum tension at longer muscle lengths is good. So if you can get away at a very long muscle lengths, close to the stretch position to generate a ton of tension against resistance, difficult to do if you're going against gravity, but there are modifiers we can use. That's going to be a bonus. You want ideally much less tension in the shorter positions so they don't drain you out a ton and leave most of your energy in the stimulus for those more effective longer length positions. You want a big stretch and high tension during that big stretch. At the same time, big stretch and incline dumbbell curls, but not high tension, so it's not that. And you want to reduce the amount of vertical force you're exposing yourself to, very ideally, to reduce axial fatigue. So the standard exercises are totally good. We got the standing barbell curl, the standing easy bar curl, the standing dumbbell curl, and standing cable curls. But there are better exercises marginally that you can try to see if they work for you. We have lying cable curls. The downside with lying cable curls is that you have to explain to gym management why you're on the ground. You can lie down on a bench, and that's totally fine if you want to wheel the bench in, but you really can do this on the ground. Me, as a gutter-brained, filthy person, I love the ground. I'm with my people down there, and by people I mean bacteria and stuff. Probably the same IQ as me. So you lie down, and what does it do? It doesn't change the mechanics of the movement, stretch, tension, or any of that stuff. But it takes your axial compressive fatigue and takes gravity completely out of that. You'll notice that when you're doing pretty heavy and intense cable curl standing, man, it's going to zap your shit plenty and your back gets a pump and you're kind of tired. You lie down, you can focus exclusively on biceps mentally, which is cool. But also you get up after that movement and you're like, man, my back feels like $1,000,000 because it doesn't have your body straining against that load. It's just the pure load by itself. It's a deal that you should try and see if it works because, man, it really, in my experience, can make a difference. Another thing to try is getting on a free motion machine. You can do this with traditional cables too. The free motion machine is just superior. And do behind the back curls. You can do this standing up. You can do it sitting down on a bench. And the sitting down on a bench version, man, it just lines your back up. You take one handle out, another handle, clasp them together, walk around, sit in there. It won't let you move back. So as you are reaching back for that full stretch, if you angle the bars roughly at where your hand height is at the relaxed position, you get actually a little bit higher. So it pulls back and up. You get essentially a 90-degree angle of pull at the very stretch position, which means what? Maximum stretch and maximum tension, relative tension at that stretch. As you come up, you'll notice this top part is easy, but the bottom part is psychotically and exponentially harder. That's exactly what we want. So it's an awesome exercise. And then lastly, and you can do that one standing and just kind of lean over, but the seated one really is the bee's knees. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up the bench, but if you pop your pecs enough and grunt at people, they'll just do it for you. Scott, you know, like Egyptian kings of old that could like erect statues for themselves just because it was Tuesday. Mm-hmm. You shall build me an incline bench setup. You heathens. That's talking to people like that in gym. I don't know, could get you out or kicked out, or people could just love you for your quirkiness. Lastly, lying dumbbell curls. We had that gravity problem, right? Gravity points up and down. We've been trying to solve it in spaceflight for forever. If you just take the whole setup and you put yourself on a flat bench, it looks kind of trippy. People will be like, is that guy just doing dumbbell flies stupid and wrong? Nope. Because then as you reach closer to the ground, your maximum stretch, or very close, and ultra high tension. And then as you curl the dumbbells up, especially towards the top, the tension is super, super easy. And you're not wasting your time at that peak contracted position, really, really trying hard. So these kinds of exercises versus kind of the older alternatives can offer a big advantage. Now, does that mean you should abandon all of your traditional curls? No way. And they're very good for muscle growth. And also variation matters. So you can't just lie down in the gutter all the time because at some point that's just not going to be a novel thing. You're going to need some more spice of life. But if you incorporate the new style of curls I just described to you in this video a little bit more, then you're highly likely to just get better results, even if they're 50-50 sprinkled in with the old style ones. After 25 years of training my arms, I got novel, highly improved growth from using these new exercises. This is no BS. And here's the thing. If you don't like them, whatever, don't use them. No big deal. I'm not saying this is like the new shibboleth. This is exactly how we need to be doing it. Just cool science-based ideas for you guys to try, which is really kind of all we have on this channel, isn't it, Scott? Don't have much else. If you want to make sure that your workouts are going super great, they're organized well, they're progressed well, all for you. The RPI Hypertrophy app is something to try. We have a link in the description. It's going to arrange everything for you. It has a bunch of these exercises pre-programmed in already. Give that a thought, give it a shot. Tell us what you think about your biceps. And remember, when you're flexing your bicep, if you don't make at least one Arnold noise, it didn't count. So you flex like this and you go, nine, nine, nine. Yeah, look at me. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.